racing, we feel the zoom. Victory is almost near. Speed and fun, we have no fear. Puzzle pieces like a storm, shapes and edges we transform. Patterns forming under stress, we puzzling at our best. Every second counts today. Focus sharp, don't drift away. Lost in pieces, we unite. Building worlds with all our might. Whispers humming in the air, laughing, dancing without care. From the chaos, order springs, puzzles solved in joyful flings. Pieces flying in the air, clock is ticking, no time to spare. Colors blend into the scene, solving puzzles like a dream. Hands are moving light and quick, got our tricks and perfect flicks. Every corner piece fits tight, speed puzzlers, we own the night. Puzzle mania fills the room, hearts racing, we feel the zoom. Victory is almost near. Speed and fun, we have no fear. Puzzle pieces like a storm, shapes and edges we transform. Patterns forming under stress, speed puzzling at our best. Every second counts today. Focus sharp, don't drift away. Lost in pieces, we unite. Building worlds with all our might. Whispers humming in the air, laughing, dancing without care. From the chaos, order springs, puzzles solved in joyful flings. Pieces flying in the air, clock is ticking, no time to spare. Colors blend into the scene, solving puzzles like a dream. Hands are moving light and quick, got our tricks and perfect flicks. Every corner piece fits tight, speed puzzlers, we own the night. Puzzle mania fills the room, hearts racing, we feel the zoom. Victory is almost near. Speed and fun, we have no fear. Puzzle pieces like a storm, shapes and edges we transform. Patterns forming under stress, speed puzzling at our best. Every second counts today. Focus sharp, don't drift away. Lost in pieces, we unite. Building worlds with all our might. ticking, no time to spare. Colors blend into the scene, solving puzzles like a dream. Hands are moving light and quick, got our tricks and perfect flicks. Every corner piece fits tight, speed puzzlers, we own the night. Puzzle mania fills the room, hearts racing, we feel the zoom. Victory is almost near, speed and fun, we have no fear. Puzzle pieces like a storm, shapes and edges we transform. Patterns forming under stress, speed puzzling at our best. Every second counts today. Focus sharp, don't drift away. Lost in pieces we unite, building worlds with all our might. Whispers humming in the air, laughing, dancing without care. From the chaos, order springs, puzzles solved in joyful flings. Pieces flying in the air, clock is ticking, no time to spare. Colors blend into the scene, solving puzzles like a dream. Hands are moving light and quick, got our tricks and perfect flicks. Every corner piece fits tight, speed puzzlers, we own the night. Puzzle mania fills the room, hearts racing, we feel the zoom. Victory is almost near, speed and fun, we have no fear. Puzzle pieces like a storm, shapes and edges we transform. Patterns forming under stress, speed puzzling at our best. Every second counts today. Focus sharp, don't drift away. Lost in pieces we unite, building worlds with all our might.
Ones I still want to do.
Yeah, I got these ones. I got your headphones. Yeah, I need to borrow them on my phone. Okay, you can just pull up a chair. It's okay. I'll introduce you in a minute. All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to this competition. And greetings, Hannah, Daniela, and Daniela's cat.
Oh. Oh.
Daniela's
I love
cat,
having a third commentator.
yeah, is getting in on
No
the
oigo
action.
nada, mi amor.
There we go. Nice.
Oh, what a cutie.
Some nice snuggles. So yes, we have a very exciting competition tonight. We have an unreleased puzzle. This is from an EJJ participant. And we've already had dozens of people already participate in the Flex video call or submit an offline time. And tonight we have the 50 Plus Club waiting in the wings, ready for their turn to puzzle it on the live stream. and for the public reveal. And greetings to all who are following along on YouTube. And yeah, we had our theme for today is kind of reflecting and following on from the World Series, because we just can't get enough of it, and it's bringing so much food for thought about what we can expect, or it has raised our expectations. And so we've asked our participants what they think about what other formats could be explored at a highly competitive level. We're used to this 500-piece format with qualifying rounds, and Daniela, your cat can't decide if it wants to stay or where it's going. But yeah, Daniela, you had an interesting idea which you're actually implementing in the Netherlands, a new format at your nationals. Would you like to share about that? Oh, okay. It looks like Daniela is having mic problems. She doesn't hear me at the moment. Are you back?
Yes. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, just a bit louder, I think.
Thank you. I was worried because I couldn't hear you, and then my Bruce step on something. That was a problem. Apologies.
Yes, so we wanted to know about this new interesting format that's being introduced at the Dutch Nationals. Would you like to share, Daniela?
Yes, and wait a minute. I have. Okay, I was hearing my twice because I have in the other screen the YouTube. That's fixed. So you were asking about the Dutch Jigsaw Nationals?
Yeah, this new format that you're introducing, this friendly version. Would you like to tell us about that?
Yes, of course. The friendly race is one of our babies that we are playing this time at the Dutch Jigsaw Nationals, and is a baby that was born from our players. From last year, well, let me rewind a bit. The speed puzzling competitions in the Netherlands are already well known, but for teams. And last year, with the Dutch Jigsaw Nationals, we introduced in the Netherlands the single playing, speed puzzling playing. But then after the event, we sent a survey asking people how did they find the event, etc. And a lot of people said that they really liked speed puzzling. It was the first time for them, although they will appreciate if they could have a competition where they could feel less pressure of winning. So it was a mix, because they said, from one side, we want to compete, we want to get better. But by other hand, we have very fast puzzlers here in the Netherlands. So then they were like, oof, can we have an option, etc., etc. So then discussing, all of us in the board, okay, what are we going to do this year? Then we said, like, okay, what if we create a competition for people starting this sport? And then we thought, like, okay, let's do less pieces, 300. Okay. But then we said, like, yeah, but still the pressure of finishing is there. Yeah. So how can we release that part? And then this is when we came with the idea, like, oh, what if we invite a friend on the last 15 minutes that you are playing? So how we envision this round, we welcome all the players, and they are puzzling 300 pieces for 1 hour. And after 1 hour, we said, okay, now welcome to the friends. So people of the public, friends, family, can join you the last 15 minutes with the idea to puzzle together. And of course, finishing the puzzle, but it's more about having this feeling and comfort of your friend coming to you to give you a hand.
It's really great,
course,
because then it increases the chances that everybody finishes, and for those who don't finish by themselves, they get the friend involved and feel like, at least even if they don't finish, then they've got a friend there to help them. That's really interesting.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
let's see how it goes. So we are very excited.
That's on the
Let me
7th of
check.
June.
It's the 6th of June, and then there are certain rules because we wanted to protect, let's say, this group. If you register for the standard competition, then you don't do the friendly race.
Mhm.
You see? So we have 55 participants registered till today. We are closing registration the 15th of May, but it's quite a big group if you think about this.
Yeah.
People just starting on the sport.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll have to. That sounds really fascinating. I'm sure you can get to talk more about it during the competition, but we better get started. We're just over 7 o'clock, and it looks like everybody is here. We have more than. Yeah, this is actually probably our second biggest competition. We have more than 100 people in the meeting who are participating. So let's get started by unwrapping the puzzle and seeing what everybody has today. Keep in mind, if you're participating in the teams competition, which hundreds of you will be in the coming months, you'll want to keep your wrapping paper because one of the non-speed awards is the best use of creative use of wrapping paper. We've seen some really fun stuff being done in the past. And yeah, if you're participating in the teams, that's another chance for your team to get an award or just have some fun along the way. So yes, everybody should have unwrapped the puzzle, and please remove the plastic as well. This is an unreleased puzzle and is by an EJJ participant, by Carla Agostino, who also did the Amber Fox. So the art style might feel a bit familiar. Okay, and yes, so I'll just wait for everybody to get ready. Okay. So put the box back on the middle of the table when you are ready to go. And everyone should have the blue timer screen at hand. And that's what you will use to hit the done button. Okay, so as always, there's a 2-hour time limit, and we wish everybody the best of luck. Let's do a countdown in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck, everybody.
Yes, success, everybody.
Okay,
Good
so neither Daniela or Hannah have the puzzle. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put the image on screen and I'll describe it because I have done that, and then I will hand over the commentary to our co-hosts. So today we have the image journaling. This is by Carla Agostino from Portugal, who also did Amber Fox. And we have a very lovely design, kind of, reminiscent of like scrapbooking with nice, like a dried flower and then some letters and some cute pictures taped into a journal. Very nice soft pastel colors. And just a very pleasant image. I just really enjoyed it. And there's some cute animal, kind of looks like a bunny amongst the flowers, got the head and the ears poking out from the field of flowers. So yeah, that's the image, and we hope everybody has fun today. Take it away, Hannah and Daniela.
Okay. Now, have you done the puzzle, Michelle, before you disappear?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Great. So let's see what are the times of our players, and then let's see where would you rank yourself at the end.
Yeah, I'm sure Michelle will be towards the top here with this one, but I do think it might be a little bit trickier. I was one of the contestants for the first puzzle from this artist, and I remember it being very fun. It's an image that I would definitely want to frame and keep. But with the first one, and I think with this one as well, the background is all very similar. So I think it was a little tricky for me to finish this puzzle, although I expect there's a lot of different things that you can bounce off of at the beginning here, like the envelope, or the stamp, or the wax seal, or the picture, and there's a few flowers and butterflies. So there's stuff to start with. It'll be the finish, I think, that might challenge people a bit.
the background looks like sepia, right? Yeah, I have a picture. I don't have the box. Like sepia, but with a kind of grid, thin white lines. That yeah. But although I see a lot of these distinctive sections, so I'm curious on to see. Yeah, now everybody's flipping, but I'm curious to see what will be the start of the participants today. I guess maybe it will be there is like a wax seal in the center of the puzzle, but let's see. Let's see. Normally, when you start a puzzle and you do you flip everything? And then puzzle, Hannah, or yeah, or if you see something, you start building it immediately.
I try to flip everything first, although I'm changing a little bit. Although Michelle has put some puzzlers on the screen. So Daniela, do you want to start going through our competitors tonight, or would you like me to read those names out?
Yeah, that's very good. So let me just find here. Yes. So are we starting from? I don't join an AJJ since a while, but I'm very happy to be back. But are we starting then?
It looks like we're in the M's. We're starting with the M's.
In the M, yeah. Let's see where. Let me see. I'm scrolling down.
Yeah, I know the last EJJ I did, there was, I think, one competitor who did not flip and just pulled the pieces directly from the box. But it does seem like most of our competitors so far are flipping today, which I think is the standard.
No, I'm asking because on these puzzles from far, it seems like if you are flipping, you will see this seal red in the center. So I will definitely be tempted to take it out and try to assemble it. It looks like a very distinctive color on here.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. I have different screens and I have my YouTube here as well. Let me expand it to see better. So we have Maggie Hubby in the top left corner. We have Margriet May, Maya Puto, Mandy Shalom, Mantas Olsauskas, and Maria TB. Apologies in case I pronounce some names a little bit weird, but yes, some of you already know my mother tongue is Spanish. And with the time, I learned to speak some English and some Dutch. Yeah, great. Yeah, people commenting on the chat that the puzzle is very precioso. Precioso in Spanish means very beautiful.
Very cute, very sweet. Definitely another image that you might want to frame and hang up. Most folks look like they're still flipping right now. I'm interested to see, some folks like to do the border first. And this is a puzzle I think that might be a little bit more challenging. There are some things on the edge that you can see. There's some paper in the bottom left corner. There's a flower in the top left corner, some stems. But like you said, Daniela, there's that background that's all like a grid, like a sepia tone grid. And so it might be really difficult to try and do the edge first. So maybe some people might separate that out and save it for later and try to do some things like the wax seal, like you said, that really distinct red that stands out very clearly.
Yeah, I see as well in the screen of Margriet. I can see the teal section that is in the envelope in the bottom. The teal really stands out of the rest of the pile. Yeah. So I think a lot of people from Colombia are here. In the chat, I see a lot of Spanish talking. And of course, I was curious if I check here, and maybe in the next batch of names with M, we'll see it. There is a friend of mine from Colombia. That's why the chat is exploding of talking Spanish. It's very cool.
Exciting. Is Colombia Nationals coming up soon? Do you know? Is there a reason that we might have more Colombian puzzlers today?
They do this year. In fact, they already did the international competition in January. but they this year they are doing their nationals as well. Yeah, so I don't know exactly, so maybe somebody in the chat can write down. I understand the international competition is coming every year, so they organize it every year, and then they receive people from Brazil, Costa Rica, Chile, etc., Mexico. But the nationals is not happening every year, because it's the same Rompecabezas Punto Colombia is the same group organizing both of them. So this year they have a lot of work to do. I see here in August 1st and 2nd, they will have their nationals.
Might jump in and read our next group of competitors because we've moved on to another screen. So we have Mariandra Cruz Sanchez up on the top left. And then we have Marina Anderson. We have Marta Gare. We've got Marta Akio, their little mushroom friend who also competed in Sunday's contest. And then we've got Marilyn as well with a little friend sitting in the corner. Oh, and Michael Bartels. So it looks like we're about. Go ahead,
Please.
Nick.
No, I just wanted to point it out that Maria Andrea is our friend from Colombia. And then if you can see on that screen a very beautiful colorful puzzle, is because she recently launched her puzzle brand, larompecabezas.com. Yeah, so she's very known in the world of speed puzzling as La Rompecabezas. Rompecabezas is a translation in Spanish to puzzle. But then she recently launched her line of puzzles. I'm really dying to get all of them. And then she's coming to Valladolid. So in case you are traveling there, I'm sure she can take your orders and happily bring it to Spain. But then there's a beautiful puzzle. I'm really looking forward to make this one that I see there. She has as well one like a box, a sewing box with a lot of buttons and things that I really, really like. Yeah.
I'm so glad you said that. I know Mary Andrea as well online, and we've never met in person, but I had no idea she launched her own brand. That's so exciting. It's so cool to see different puzzlers launch their own puzzle brands. I know Alejandro has one that's very well known. Mary Andrea has one. We have a couple of folks in the United States, Sarah Schuler and Jessa, who just launched their own puzzles. And then it's also nice with the EJJs to have some speed puzzlers be able to put their own art on puzzles as well. So it's so exciting to see all the different kinds of art and different kinds of puzzles that people find interesting that are getting launched.
Yes, and then as I understand, very high quality puzzles in Colombia, I am originally from Venezuela, and sometimes was not so easy to find good puzzle brands in Latin America. So they are putting a lot of heart on all of this with this brand. So very great to see that our puzzlers are being creative and expanding, the options for our players. Because I believe, especially as a speed puzzler, you get better and better if you go and practice through very different brands. So of course, let's give it a try, and let's support, at this case, Maria Andrea, that is on the screen with larompecabezas.com.
Yes. Very quickly, Letizia, if you can hear me, your camera is off. If you could turn your camera on so we can see your puzzle, that would be great. And we also have a new batch of folks on screen. So let's see who's puzzling. We have Michelle Parsons in the top left. We have Mooney, who is puzzling right out of the box, pick and place, and who has a lot of pieces on the table already, but definitely pulling that wax seal that's coming together very quickly. We have Nadine H and Nadine K, Nancy K, and Peaceful Mesh Nitty up on our screen right now. Looks like everyone's done flipping. We're at about 11 minutes and 30 seconds. And folks are doing different kinds of strategies. That blue, Daniela, that you said that stands out really well to you. It looks like some people are doing that. We see Nadine K in the bottom left corner tackling that, and Nancy K as well. Looks like has that done too. A lot of folks who have done the flip. Mooney, one of the puzzlers who does not flip their pieces before doing the puzzle, just pulls them right out of the box. But we're seeing that wax seal come together first for a lot of people and that blue part of the photo. I think that's going to be a popular start for most people. And then we'll see where they go next. I think the stamp is something that might pull some people's attentions, maybe the flowers, although it could be tricky because there's that same color flower in two different locations. So trying to figure out which pieces go where could be a challenge.
And just a note, because I see on the chat, let's go Nidhi from India. So Nidhi is joining us from India.
Love that.
Yeah, so today a competition more than 100 puzzlers. So wow, is really amazing. Really, really amazing. I see, I like as well Nadine, that she has beautiful plants on her table. I am crazy about plants. I don't know, I always love plants, but since I moved to the Netherlands, my house inside looks like a little Amazonian. I tried to, all the plants that were growing happily outside when I lived in Venezuela, I try to grow them inside. So I really like when I see an image, somebody posting something about a puzzle with a plant, decorating. I love it. I really love it.
Awesome. All right, we've got some more puzzlers on screen. We're in the ends now. We're going to start with Nina Trunsek, who was also in our most recent contest on Sunday. Nora. And we've got Puck Annabelle.
Yes, she's from the Netherlands. Hello, Puck.
Yes, we love that. Ramona Ackerman. We have Raina and Richard James Fletcher, another EJJ artist of ours.
Yes, the amazing Richard. I was puzzling beside him in the Belgium Championship. So I'm very looking forward to see you soon. And let me check immediately. Just let me do a sneaking in the registrations of the Dutch Jigsaw National to understand if Richard is coming. Let's see.
Well, we have somebody in the chat who said there are 3 puzzlers from India today: Asma, Desiree, and Nidhi. Very exciting to see some Indian puzzlers in here and people cheering them on in the chat.
Asma. Yes. Richard is coming. So see you soon, Richard, in less than a month. We will be here having fun. Yeah. I met Asma in Valladolid as well last year. And she was so kind to bring me puzzles from an Indian brand. Yes, the Puzzle Nation. That was awesome. Yeah, very, very great quality puzzles as well, and super fun. And I was a Jigsaw Nation. I was building one of 150 pieces. And it was funny because it was about a road of a famous mountain in India. And when I was building the puzzle, I realized, the cars are driving in the other side of the road than here. By building this, I noticed it. So thank you, Asma.
I need to correct myself. Kieran Fletcher from Ireland is the puzzle artist. Richard James is from Belgium. So I confused my Fletchers. So my mistake.
No problem at all. And hello to Kieran. I don't know if he's going to hear this because he's walking the El Camino de Santiago. And he's posting amazing pictures of his journey. So if you are curious, just try to find him like Fletch Chonides, I think is his account. And I think that's why you are mixing up with Richard James Fletcher because of the Fletch in the name, right?
Yeah. we have another batch of puzzlers. We have Rike J, Romina V, Safira up in the top right. We have Sarah G, Sarah R, and Saskia R as well. Looks like we have about 16, almost 1630 through the puzzle. We have, most people are trying to build in sections. So they're making some little puzzle islands. And then they're trying to build off of that with the most distinguishable things. So the wax seal, the picture at the bottom, there's some text, those letters, different kinds of letters that people might be building. It does look like Saskia is sort of also building out that bottom left corner, which is some of the most distinct part of the edge that you can see. So it's got the letters and a little bit of a tag. And it also goes right into that photo that has the clouds that might be easier to pull, the little blue section, the flowers with the little rabbit. So I do think we might start to see some people starting from the bottom and building up if they're not starting with the islands and sort of building from those and then sunbursting out, as Jim might say.
Yes, I really like the little bird in the stamp, but I don't know what's the name in English. I know in Dutch it's a rode borstje, something like this. So if someone can drop, or do you know the name? Do you know the name?
It might be a robin. I would defer to some folks in the chat because I'm not a birder, and which is embarrassing because this is a pretty common bird. I think I should probably know the name in English, but if I had to guess, I would say it's probably a robin.
In Spanish will be a petirrojo. So if somebody can validate the name in English, please put it in the chat. But it's so cute. It's so cute.
Very cute and probably doable too. Like the edge of that stamp with the sort of like texture of the edge of it might be something that you can build first. I'll be interested to see if people build the bird first or if they build the outside of the stamp and then fill the bird in. Richard James Fletcher in the chat saying, Robin, thank God. I was like, please.
Thank you very much.
Yes, all right.
I see Kinga. Sorry, I see Kinga commenting. My favorite part was the bird. Yes, that answers your question, Hannah.
My favorite part was the bird. Okay,
yeah.
Interesting. Do another quick round of puzzlers. We have Satu up in the top left here, and then we have Sergio F. We have Sergio R, Shona R, Steffi H, and Steffi Z.
So Sergio Fernandez, I think he's from Spain because Juneta, hola Juneta, ¿cómo estás? She's writing in the chat, vamos Sergio Fernandez. So I think we have friends there from Spain. And my dear Sergio Rocha, sending you a huge hug, Portuguese and Norwegian. So hope to see you soon as well.
It's so funny, the people who are listening to the commentary while they're puzzling. We've had a couple of people sort of stop what they were doing and wave at the screen, which I'm like, keep puzzling. But it's also so nice to see everybody having a good time and interacting as while they're still puzzling quickly with the chat.
No, it's great. I am very happy of being here. It feels like a big reunion with a lot of people. Yeah, I have been very busy with a lot of things, life, work, the Dutch Jigsaw Nationals. And then when Michelle asked me if I could join, I was very happy because today is literally like, a reunion with a lot of puzzlers and new puzzle friends as well. Like you, it's the first time we are co-hosting together, Anna. So very happy.
Yeah, it's nice. It's really nice to commentate. That's one of the things I like about EJJs is every time I've commentated, it's been with somebody different. So it's also a way to get to know more people in the puzzle community from all different countries. It's been great. About 20 minutes in, I think as far as the time prediction goes, if folks in the chat want to drop their time predictions in there, if I had to guess, I would think it might be a little bit slower just because I think the end is going to slow people down a little bit. It's also a little bit muted colors. I love this artist's style and I am going to check. So Carla Agostino is the artist who did this. And I love Carla's style, but I will say the colors can be a little bit muted, which for me, I like big, bold, bright colors. And so it was a little tricky for me sometimes for my eyes to distinguish the different kinds of colors in it. So I wonder if that might slow people down, if there are other folks like me who maybe have a little bit of difficulty when it starts to get to the sepias and the browns at the end. But I wonder what our top time would be. I'm a little stumped about what I think it might be. I don't know if we'll go higher or lower. I know it's the 50+ club, but I also know that we have some speedy people in the 50+ club. So I wonder if we'll see a sub 50 time or not.
Yeah, I see people here guessing 15 puzzles, 53 minutes, 20 seconds. And Guza Gaming 1, 55 minutes, 55 seconds.
I think those are both good guesses. Kinsey is a puzzler from the US and said her time was over an hour 5. We have another guess, 56:20, and then we also have a bunch of folks on the screen. So let's go through some more names. We have, I'm so sorry, Tajvidis Z. Apologies if I mispronounce. We have Teja from the middle, top middle. We have Tepat T. We've got Tulia N, Vanessa R, And Vesna H. Vesna is a YouTuber and I think also streaming on Twitch now. So she is also live streaming her commentary, trying to see what her goal time is. She usually writes it down on a piece of paper, but I cannot. Looks like she's also tackling that bottom corner first, as well as the wax seal. And it looks like something else. The robin, I think she has done. So she's like, oh, I'm taking that bird first. I'm doing that first. Yeah, a lot of folks sort of starting on the bottom. So we've seen a lot of folks do the wax seal and the blue first, and then sort of a diversion of whether they're doing different things scattered throughout the puzzle, or if they're going onto that bottom section and trying to build an anchor point that they can build up on. What is super interesting, one of the puzzlers who's just gone off screen, I can't remember their name, did the wax seal and then found all the shadow pieces. So that wax seal is right next to an envelope, and there is a very distinct shadow of the envelope underneath it, and built the entire line of shadow underneath it, which I think is probably like an easy pull, or at least a more distinct pull that might be able.
There are puzzles, I have seen puzzling, they are very good with the lines, because then you would say, yeah, there is a line, I don't know, like a building or something, just follow the line. But the way how at least my brain works with puzzling, I see too much details. And then, I don't know, I think my brain will go to the little daisies that are in the envelope. This is my natural way of, you know, after I build the wax, etc. But then indeed that line, it looks like distinctible in the image.
Yes,
I see there is a comment from Simac Bordeaux. Hey. Hope to see you soon as well at the Dutch Jigsaw Nationals. Although the colors at first appear quite similar, the textures were surprisingly distinguishable, and the lines everywhere helped a lot.
So this is a puzzle where you have to pay attention to the textures too. And I think, yeah. And with this background too, I know Michelle in the comments said that Amber Fox and journaling were both images that Carla designed before and not specifically made with the puzzle in mind. But I will say that with this one, with journaling, though the background is all of that grid, there are like little watermarks. There are like really small things that if you're paying close attention to the details like you do, Daniela, you can see, oh, well, this is a slightly different color of the background. So that probably goes to the left or on the top. So there are going to be some like little, you can build sort of the skeleton of the puzzle, and then you'll be able to fill in all the rest of the pieces that look the same.
Yes. And I see in the bottom left corner, like a text that seems to be in Latin.
I have not gotten close to read that yet. I'm going to go through our next batch of puzzlers on screen. We have Roni, BK. We have Wiebke, K. And now we're going to go back to the top of the alphabet. Can you say that again, Daniela?
Wiebke.
Thank you. We have Aaron, M, Abigail, L, Eileen, W, and Alexandra, B. And we're starting to see this image come together at about 25 minutes and 30 seconds. I think this is a puzzle I think that most people looked at first and was like, okay, we're not doing the edge first. We're not doing the border. Everyone is building small little puzzle islands of whatever they can pull from the pieces, whatever they can distinguish first.
Yeah, of course, you are free to choose, but I think after you puzzle in a speed puzzling contests, you learn that this is a puzzle that you should leave the border to build it at the end. Yeah, but of course there are not fixed rules. How you perform while puzzling is your choice. But yeah, I think majority of people is building indeed sections for that reason.
We've also got Wiebke, who's got the puzzle trays and has done a little bit of a sort. I haven't seen a ton of people do a super intense sort yet. It seems like most people just have their pieces all laid out and they're pulling what they can see, what's very distinct off the bat. Alexandra on screen here has got the envelope almost done and is trying to make some connections there.
Do you
actually? Eileen has some.
Sorry,
one more time.
No,
Go ahead.
I am just curious. Like we see Vipka with the puzzle trays. Do you use trays when you puzzle?
I do use trays. Yes, usually not when I'm puzzling solo. But if it's a bigger puzzle, so like 1,000 piece or a 750, I might use trays, but I use them a lot for pairs and teams. But I do have a couple of boards.
Okay.
I'd like to get a smaller board. The ones that I have are a little too big, but I think if I had a smaller one, I would use them more for solos because I don't like to take up table space with them.
Yeah, I get it. I am not used to use trays while solo puzzling, but with teams, yes, it's a must because
Mhm.
you don't get in the way of the other, of your friend. And of course, last year we did here in the Netherlands in November a puzzle relay, and then we were switching. That's another type of format of a speed
Yeah.
puzzling competition. We love it, and definitely the trays helped because I was puzzling on a tray, and then when my partner switched to the puzzle I was busy with, then he just removed the tray and he kept puzzling behind it.
Mm.
Have you ever done a puzzle relay?
Yes, I'm not sure if it's exactly the same, but at New York State's, which I was just at, there is a race where each person gets either a 200 or a 300 piece puzzle, and you start puzzling on it by yourself for 5 minutes. And then they say switch, and you have to stop what you're doing and switch to the other puzzles. So you're both puzzling simultaneously, but you're doing different puzzles, which I really enjoy.
Yeah, here was similar, but the fact we did 2 rounds, and the first round were 500 pieces, challenging and a learning. Not everybody finished, but we had a lot of fun. And then that one we did with our usual puzzle partner. But then for the second round, we went for puzzle of 300 pieces, but random partner. And the
I
feedback
like
was
that.
great. The feedback was great of people, not only about the new format that we introduced here in the Netherlands, but as well about, mingle with someone and getting other people to
Mhm.
know, etc. It was super cool.
I'm going to call out some more names, but I would like to keep talking about that once I'm done. So now on screen, we have Alexandra R. We have Anna Marie I. Amy W. We have Angelina B. Anna E. and Anna F. But for the U.S. Nationals, Cobble Hill did a room side by side. So normally U.S. Nationals is Ravensburger Puzzles, but Cobble Hill was also I don't know if they were a sponsor, but they were involved this year. And they had a room that was entirely unusual formats. So they had a puzzle chess, and then they did a lot of puzzle relays that are unusual. And that was the intent behind it, was to meet new people. So they encouraged you to sit at tables with people that you didn't know, so that you could have a chance to meet new people and puzzle with people you wouldn't normally. And it was something that we got a lot of good feedback too, is that people were like, it was a really good way to meet people, for puzzlers who might be a little bit shy or want to stick with just the people that they came with. It was a really good way to meet and puzzle with people they had never met before, and was a really good way to keep the stakes a little bit lower and for folks to just have fun instead of worry so much about winning.
Exactly. So it's a great social puzzling experience. So I am a strong advocate of social puzzling. Of course, we do competitions. We love competitions. And I believe, since the vast majority of puzzlers, we cannot be victors. I would love to be victor. Kisses for you, Victor. Having events with the social puzzling touch, it really makes a memorable event for a puzzler.
I agree. Yeah, I think there's everyone, not everyone. Some folks want to be competitive, and I think it's okay to have like some competitive times, but having a mix of both really made, I think, the experience, like you said, more memorable for sure. And that's a very enjoyable way to spend your time, where you can say, I did my best and I tried to go as fast as I can, and I met some new people and had a good time, and I will take away positive feelings from this event. And that's what I think
Exactly.
many organizers hope will come from it.
That's what we call puzzle energy, huh?
Puzzle energy. I like
you
that.
refill your heart of puzzle energy. Yes.
A renewable resource. We love the puzzle energy. Okay, we got some more folks on screen. We are still in our A's. We have Anna K up in the top left, Ann B, Ann BC. We have Ann L, Annika A, Annika S, and Anu R. We've just passed the half-hour mark. We're about 32 minutes. And it still looks like there's going to be a lot of spaces to fill in with that grid background. Folks are still building their puzzle islands and sunbursting off of there, trying to grab any piece that they can see that has any sort of distinct part on it, whether it's that wax seal or it's the envelope or the flowers or anything like that, and then saving the rest of that edge and the grids for last. Cat Smash Puzzles says, I would like to beat Victor too. How many people do you think we would need to have on a puzzle in order to beat Victor in competition? 6?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Victor said once, like, by the way, just to rewind a bit, I believe that by practicing, dedicating the proper time, having maybe a structure without forgetting having fun, you can really become better. Really,
Yeah.
really. And then Victor said once, no, I practice at least 6 puzzles a day. I would love to have the time to do 6 puzzles a day. But I found my place in the community. This community, there is a place for everybody.
Yes.
So I love competing, and more I'm liking more to organize events. Yeah, so time to time I still compete, but I am getting a lot of joy on organizing, because then you see people having fun, being happy. All those faces is super rewarding.
I feel that too. I have not been in the organizing scene for puzzles specifically, but I do for other things. And so I understand that feeling of liking to build something where you can see people have fun and enjoy themselves. And that's why I really like the commentating side of things too, is it's not necessarily speed puzzling, but it's a way to be involved in the community that is not necessarily being, that the top person in the speed puzzling world. I grew up running a lot, and I still do. And I feel like speed puzzling and running or swimming, any sort of other distance event, you can also just compete against yourself. It's nice to win and to have a prize or something like that, but you can say, okay, like what's my average time, and how can I sort of slowly practice myself or puzzle for fun, and can I improve my own time? And so you can also sort of think about not necessarily about beating the people around you, it's trying to improve yourself. And you can do that no matter what speed you're at.
Yes, and then you can take great puzzlers as your benchmark. Like a goal. Okay, I would like to make this time on this puzzle. Michelle just wrote, my time was 55 minutes 02. Yes, so let's see. In a very nice way, you can say, okay, I would like to become as good as Michelle. You see, and then this is the beauty of this group, because I recognize what you are saying, Hannah.
Yeah,
sure.
We're getting some people in the comments, Michelle and others, saying that the lines helped, the coffee or ink splotches helped. Splotches, a CMAC Bordeaux. The splotches were indeed super useful at the end when filling in the background. We have somebody else who had a time of 1 hour, 1 minute and 50 seconds. Marguerite's Cats.
Yeah. Hi, Marguerite. How are you doing? Kisses to Lynn, friend of us.
Yes. All right. We have another batch of puzzlers on screen. We have April M, Barbara K, who appears to be doing this puzzle with another EJJ participant in the background. I love having 2 puzzlers at the same table and you can race each other while you're competing, which is exciting. I love that. We have Bernhard G, Burgit K, Burgit W, and somebody who has now been covered by the screen, the image on screen that I cannot see, but we're getting that puzzle image one more time to get a picture of where everybody's at. We've got a little wave from Barbara K. Love that. And Catherine L is our other puzzler on screen. Catherine's got their table taped. Got to keep the dimensions in mind so that when you go into competitions and you have that smaller space, you're not thrown. You've practiced puzzling on smaller tables.
Yes, Catherine is coming to the Netherlands as well. I'm really looking forward to meet her again. Yeah. No,
You know everybody, Daniela.
no, this is it's great to know people. You go here, you go there, etc., and to remember all those faces. Now we were eating last year in Valladolid Venezuelan food in one dinner. Yeah, so that's why we met even more people. Yeah.
Cool.
No, Ed, you were talking about the table. Is the space management is quite a thing, huh? So I understand why Cat, for example, has these green limits.
Okay.
And then that tells me she's quite focused to come here to the Netherlands and take a great place. I personally nowadays more chill, really. I don't use the tape anymore, but it's definitely something quite important for you to dimension, and then manage and handle your space. Yeah.
I just took mine off my table because I'm sort of out of my competition era for a while. I have a few ones coming up, but we just did our last state championship that I'm going to do for a while. So I'm going to do some more casual puzzling, and you can see the underneath. I have a white table, and you can see all the puzzle dust has gotten into the rest of the table, and then you peel the tape off, and it's super white underneath, and it's like, oh, that's where all that puzzle dust went.
Wow. Oh, Michelle is writing the fastest time from Flex so far was Jagoda with 32 minutes or seconds. Wow.
I do think so. We've got some more folks on here. I'm going to do some more reading. I think we're starting to get close. We have... Oh, I need to zoom in a little bit so I can read. We have Katrin S. in the top left. We have Cecile KJ, who's looking very fast, has got most of the puzzle built, and is mostly looking like it's just going to be the grid fill-in spots. There are a few pieces that Cecile still has where you can see if they can connect to existing structures. But she's getting very close. And then we have Kristen L. We have Christina D. We have Christine RT and Connie O. So Cecile may be the puzzler. And then I also think Katrin S. also making some pretty good progress too. But everybody really is. So we're about to hit the 40-minute mark right now. So I think maybe the 55s, I think we can definitely expect to see somebody finish under an hour. But how far under an hour is still to be determined.
Yes, I see. I think we have, let me check the list here. Cecile is quite advanced. The whole structure is there. Wow.
Yeah, she's got some edges to complete, but I do, and I think you can see she's got a little bit of pieces sorted in the bottom right of her puzzling area that's got color in it. So I think that's probably a flower that she's gonna finish in a corner. Got those pieces separated, so she'll be able to look at those moving forward, but very close, probably the closest we've seen so far.
Yes. And then at least in my case, like when a puzzle like this one, like you have the different sections, the recognizable parts, I mean, I go quite enthusiastic about all of this. And then when I need to go to do the fillers, you see this background, I notice I need to work on my mood. Okay, like hey, girl, you got this. Because as I said, I like the details, and I notice I tend to slow down when I need to tackle a more kind of plain color or something like that. Does this happen to you as well?
Yeah, because it's very difficult, right? When it's all the same kind of image and you're not putting in pieces right away. So you might pick up a piece and then 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 and not getting a piece in right away. It can get very discouraging. And so it is something that you can work on practicing, is like, okay, just because I'm not putting in pieces super fast, or because this might be really hard, I can still try hard, and maybe I have a sort of routine, or I know how I'm going to do this. If I put in a piece and it doesn't go in, I'm going to set it over here next to me, and I'm going to have a pile of pieces that I've tried, or a pile of pieces that I think are going to go over here. But it's hard. It can get really tricky because you're just like, oh, it just all looks the same, and I'm tired, and I want to stop puzzling and do something else.
So it's a lot of mental preparation you need to do.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I am gonna look, Hannah, I have here a third, I have three active screens plus my phone. You see, this working at the AJJ is quite a thing, and I love it. I love it. It's
Yes.
because it's really dynamic. So, but I have here in one of my screens the survey that was sent to our puzzlers, and then it was asked, okay. Could you please talk to tell us what will be a nice format of a competition that you would like to do, etc. And then because we were just talking about Kat, she said, I really like and enjoy the 500 pieces format, especially the World Series. Having more puzzles and a final qualifying time is really the way to go. It includes everyone and excludes anyone. I don't think I want 1,000 pieces solo rounds because I don't have the stamina or back strength for that. Me neither. And that's for those expert Victor people. So, but then the World Series, Hannah, how did you find the concept, the new concept?
I loved the World Series concept. And I think a lot of folks who answered the question earlier today liked that nobody was eliminated quickly, which I also liked, that everybody got to compete in all the different ones. I think puzzling is a unique sport where the image does matter. Some people are better at photos, some people are better at landscapes or graphic images or things like that, like drawings. So having different kinds of images, I think, really helped. And also testing stamina and mental toughness was something that was really important. We also want to ask Steffi Z to remove blur on her camera. We need to be able to see your puzzle and not just your hands, even though I know you're going quite quickly. I also missed Mari Black, who I don't think is supposed to be in the 50+ club, but was in here to start. So we'll see how Mari finishes. But I'm going to do some quick, some new puzzlers on screen. So we have Eliska H. We have Elka F. Esther K. We have Evely T. Fanny K, and Philippa S. Philippa also really making some progress and getting into that final push. She's working on the envelope, which I think is probably also a little bit confusing because you have to look very closely at those pieces to see what has lines and what doesn't. Probably has a similar color as the background, but maybe a little more distinct. She's finishing up those flowers, going quite quickly, which is very exciting. And also Fanny has quite a bit of the puzzle done as well. That structure is built. We're going to start to see, I think, a lot of the same empty spaces where all that grid paper is going to be. Everyone's going to have their puzzles done with any kind of distinguishing part of it in it. And then it's just going to be how fast can you fill in the background?
Yes, yes. By the way, I see, let me check. Evely has a very cute Pikachu on the table. Love
Yes.
it.
Yeah, we have Philippa on screen now. Definitely one of our top contenders so far. And now we're also getting some other contenders. We have Shona R up on screen. Shona's very close. A little bit tricky. Oh, yeah. Shona's got a lot of I think the edge left, probably has the edge sorted up top. But it's just, again, filling in all of that grids paper at the end. We've got Magi Hobby. Also in a very similar spot, has those edge pieces to finish and the stuff to fill in, putting some pieces on top of her puzzle, which can be a little bit controversial, but I also think that if you want to have the pieces as close as possible to your hands so you don't waste time going to grab them in different places. So as long as you know where they are and you don't lose them, I think that can be a helpful tool to help make you not
Travel
have
less
to move so
distance.
far. Exactly. We have
I do it
Karina.
if I have a contrasting background. Otherwise, I get lost.
Yes, agreed. Me too. We have Karina also very close, and Safira also very close. Oh, this is going to be a close one. I really don't know that I could pick right now who I think is going to be fastest. This really is going to come down to, for
Yeah,
a specific kind of skill, how fast are you when it comes to pieces that look the same? And it might come a little bit down to luck. It's which piece can you pick up and is it distinguishable? It's going to be a little bit of shape work. Well, a lot of bit of shape work, not a little bit of shape work. It's going to be how much can you recognize the shape of the piece and where that might fit into your empty spaces.
yes.
This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, because normally when the last pile is there, I try to find each an eeny meeny detail that might give me a clue or so. So I start by that, and then I say, okay, maybe the wide of the piece, okay, and I try to do that thing, and then I try to keep moving. What I'm doing less and less is sorting per shape. I still do it, but I am diminishing that thing because it is really a kind of balance. You need to be able to choose the right, if you want to do it, to choose the right moment, because or you lose a lot of time, you waste your time, or if it's done in the right moment and that is going to help you, okay, go for it.
Yeah, I'm definitely a shape sort proponent. I am that person on the team where I'm like, should we shape sort now? And everyone says, I don't think so. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to ask again in 2 minutes though. So get ready for me to ask you again. I think for some of the elite puzzlers, it's definitely something that can maybe take up more time than it's worth. But I think for someone who's not going to finish in 40 minutes, 45 minutes, 50 minutes, for me at least, I feel like the time, as long as I can shape sort quickly, which I've been practicing, I think the time that you
it's
invest
a wise move
that,
for you.
It pays off for me. Yeah, so I'm definitely a shape sort fan. So I definitely think if I were doing this puzzle, I think I might do a quick shape sort at the end. But like you, I would try and find any piece that has even a little bit of a detail on it so that I can connect it to something else. So I'm not shape sorting things that I can actually just pick up and put in myself.
Yes.
We've got Felipa on screen. We've got Shona on screen, Magihabi, Leah K, Maria Andrea, Safira. Everybody finishing in the same spot. This is a puzzle where it is going to look, I think, basically identical for everybody who is finishing. And it's just how quick can your hands move? How fast can you try? How organized can you be? I think having your edge pieces separated, this might be a time where you might want to try and finish the edge first. I know there's a lot of edge left, and there is a lot of it can be difficult to identify, but if you can build a border and sort of box in those empty piece spaces, it gives you so much more information so that when you're trying to do that shape work at the end, you can identify, okay, this is going to be a two out puzzle piece, or this is going to be a 1 out puzzle piece, or it gives you more information. So I might try and tackle that border first, but we'll see. I don't think.
By the way, on the image you can see all the puzzlers, they are building the puzzle in portrait. It's a portrait puzzle, but Maria Andrea is building it in landscape. Have you noticed this?
You're right. And so is Magihabi actually on screen right now. That is so interesting because it is really an image that you could build portrait or landscape. You know, it has a correct orientation, like in that you want to stand it up, but you don't have to. I think rotating it doesn't make it that much more difficult.
Yeah, I think it's the ability, a spatial ability that you need to develop. Some people, they say portraits, images are more difficult than landscapes. I don't mind. Yeah.
I think depending on how many puzzles you do, and if a lot of the puzzles that you do are landscape, and so that's what your hands are used to building, and so you mentally just want to try and keep things as much the same as you can to sort of prevent your brain from having a little crash out or freaking out when it looks at an image. I think that could be helpful, especially for an image like this where it doesn't matter that much to build it sideways.
You know, I'm rechecking the chat just because we are approaching to the first guessings in time. So I'm rechecking the chat, and we have Guza Gaming who predicted 55 with 55, and then we have Anna predicted 56 with 20. Let me just scroll down to take a quick look because we are approaching to that mark.
We just passed the 52-minute mark, I think. I'm going to do a quick refresh. Yeah, we're at 52:30 right now, so we're a little bit behind the YouTube. Shauna is doing really well. I think Shauna is sort of getting to a part where all she's got is the edge. And so it's going to be how quickly can you put the edge pieces in. 55 is a pretty good guess, I think. It would be pretty fun to have a minutes and seconds match up exactly. Kinsey Puzzles in the chat says, I also built it in landscape. I don't like to reach far if I don't need to. So yeah, something where depending on where you put your pieces, if you want to just try and limit the amount of movement your arms are doing, building it in landscape might be easier.
That's kind of smart. I never thought about it. Yeah. So thank you, Kinsey.
Yes, and CMAC Bordeaux also in the comments, for this puzzle, Philippa's dark table looks helpful at this point where piece shape is so important. And I think that's true. Like, and you can see Saskia, who is on screen, has got a dark puzzle board that she has put all those pieces on so that you can see it doesn't take you quite as long to recognize the shape of the piece, which I think is going to be really helpful when you're trying to just very quickly identify what does the piece shape look like and where can I put it. So Saskia and Philippa, and I think Karina Held, who I'm not sure is on the YouTube, but I have pinned back here, have a little bit of those darker backgrounds, which may help them late in the game.
Yes, during the Belgian Championship, we got a puzzle that had a very dark section. I needed to move all those pieces to a white tray. Magic.
That is the one thing. I do use boards. I have Zatco boards, who is a board creator in the United States, and mine are double-sided. So one side is black and one side is white. So depending on what kind of pieces you have, it might give you a little bit of an advantage to put them on a different side of the board.
Yeah, amazing. I tried one of Zatco boards because Kiran had one in Belgium, and we were doing together teams competition. So, and that was like a broken white or something like that, a little bit of grayish. Perfect.
We're getting close. We're at about 55 minutes, just under 55 minutes. We are going to get a lot of finishes all at once here, I think. If anyone in the chat wants to guess, how many finishers do you think we're going to get under an hour? We have 5 minutes to go. I think we can get multiple. I think we could probably get a top 3, but do you think we can get more than our podium in under an hour for this one? Let's hear what you think in the chat.
Yeah, I like to read always predictions and this kind of stuff. Very good question, Hannah.
Karina's getting very close. Shona, I think just have the edges. It's tricky to see how much Shona has left. Third fastest puzzler in the UK. Somebody in chat also said, I think just has the edge. And so I think Shona might have a slight advantage here over everybody else. Her pieces are sort of spread out all over the table, and she's just looking to see what identifying parts she can see and slamming her pieces in as fast as she can. We've got some people saying 4 people under 60 minutes, 3 people under 60 minutes. We have Cecile also with just a little bit of the edge left. We have Saskia, Philippa also getting down to just the edge. Karina Held also doing what I talked about earlier, building the border first, and now has a lot more information when she's going into shape sort.
Very smart.
People in the chat. A lot of people in the chat cheering for Shona as well. Oh, this is very exciting. We're at about 56:30. Oh, we have one finisher.
So,
We have our first finisher, and it is Shona. Congratulations, Shona. Well done, well done.
congratulations. It was at what,
Congratulations.
54 something?
55:59.
Aha!
4 seconds. 4 seconds off of 55:55.
Wow, what a
So-
great prediction.
Well done, whoever predicted that in the chat. Excellent job.
Who's the gaming one?
Give yourself a pat on the back. Well done. So that's our first finisher. That's our first finish under an hour. We've got 3 minutes. We've got 57 minutes that have gone by so far. So we've got 3 minutes for everybody else to finish up. 55:59. We'll see who else can finish. We've got Karina. We've got Philippa so close. We've got Saskia, who's just got a few pieces left. I think is going to finish this very quickly. Cecile, Karina. Okay. 58 minutes. We're still waiting to see who else can finish.
Mhm.
Karina with maybe 10 pieces left. Philippa with maybe 15.
So I am checking as well the app.
Ooh, Alexandra B, very close to finishing as well. These are going to be some fast finishes. I'm keeping a close eye on our timer website because the YouTube is a little bit behind the timer. 58:30. We're
Exactly.
still waiting for our second person to finish. You might not get our podium in under an hour, but everybody else is so close. It's going to be a very tight race. Karina, I think, going to finish in just a few seconds. So close, just a couple of pieces left. Karina, done. Second place. Right
Wow.
under the 59-minute mark. Well done, Karina, for second. And we'll see who
We have
finishes.
Safira as well.
We have Safira as well. Excellent. There's our top three, all under an hour. So we have Shona with 55:59. We have Safira in second, actually, excuse me, by less than a second. Safira finished 58:47.9. Karina 58:48.2. 3 tenths of a second between second and third for that one. Really,
Safira from
really
the
close.
Netherlands. Go, go, Netherlands, go.
Go, go, Netherlands, go. 20 seconds. Can we get anyone else under the hour mark? Go, 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 go. So close, so close, so close.
Let's go, guys. Let's go. Oh, come on. You see Filipa, she's like in high speed.
High speed. Three pieces left. Come on, Philippa, go. Yes, put the button in. Yes. Philippa also getting it under an hour. Good job, Philippa. Crazy finish. Good job. Well done.
So congrats to the magic pianist. 4 people under 60 minutes.
Yes, good guess. Philippa sneaking in at 59 minutes, 57.3 seconds. Great job, Philippa from Portugal.
Now, wow, just more finishers just after the 1 hour.
Yes. And I think now we're going to start seeing quite a few finishes. So we have Magi Habi or Margit S with 1 hour and 8 minutes, right over that hour mark. Still a phenomenal time. Alexandra B finishing in 1 hour and 23 seconds. Oh, what an exciting finish. I'm so interested to hear. We're going to talk to some of the podium folks and I think a couple other puzzlers. And we should get the artist on here. So if you want to stay and hang out, you'll get to listen to us talk to the artist and some of the puzzlers who got to do this puzzle. But I'm so interested in what people thought about the close of this one, because it is going to be so, it can be so difficult to try and get all those pieces that look the same in at the end.
We have a request in the chat. I don't know if our technical team can help us with this. how Rena is doing, is asking our magic pianist.
We have another finisher, Cecile Krebs Johansson. Just wrapped up in 1 hour, 1 minute, 30 seconds. Congrats, Cecile. Also, another person in the chat wondering if we can see Asma. Rena, about 150 pieces left, says Sandra, Puzzles and Meows.
Hi, Sandra.
We'll see if we can get Asma on screen. We're trying to coordinate a few things at once, but we'll see what we can do. Seven folks have finished so far. We're at 1 hour and 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So we'll see how the rest of the folks come in. So we're just over. This is the 2-hour time limit for this puzzle. So we have 7 people out of 111 who have finished so far.
And we have
This one might
plenty
be
of time still.
Plenty of time. I think we're going to see a lot of finishes. Asma has camera off. We have seen Rena is about 70% done for the chat. We might not clear the room with this one. I think this is a little bit of a trickier one that we might have some people who have to count pieces at the end. But yes, definitely plenty of time left for a lot of folks to finish this one. We haven't seen F to L's. If there's a way that we can hop and see, I know we're trying to get a lot of finishes right now, but maybe if there's a way to see some of the folks who we haven't seen yet on screen, that would be great for our technical team. Thank you to everyone who's pinning all of these screens online on our stream. And we'll see if we can start to get our first interviews up soon.
Mm-hmm.
Keep an eye out. Yeah, I also have 3 screens going right now, multiple tabs open on one computer, a second computer off to the side, my phone. So definitely a juggling act. So we'll see what we can do. Right now, we're focusing on finishers. So apologies to the folks who we didn't get to see earlier. Hopefully we'll be able to see some of them finish as they get close. Thank you to Michelle in the chat for helping us see everybody who finishes. We do like to see the finishes here. So it's nice to see everybody really race through this puzzle.
Yes. Yeah, and considering this is a competition with a huge list of participants,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I understand you want to see your folks, and they will come on the screen. They will have they will be in the spotlight. But now we are at the moment that we are expecting to have more finishers soon.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So
Desiree
then,
from India just competed at the World Series and performed brilliantly, says someone in chat. That's awesome. I will be interested to see how many of these folks in here just were at the World Series. It's so impressive to have just done all of that puzzling very competitively and then come back and jump into another competition.
exactly, yeah. I got all the puzzles loan from a friend who went there, my friend Karin.
Mm-hmm.
We met last weekend, and she said, "Okay, look what I have here for you." Boom, all the puzzles, including the one that it was just sold there, the little monsters or
The
something
little
like this. Super
monsters,
cute.
the
Yeah.
speed run. Yeah.
Yes. So as soon as I have time, of course, I will jump on it.
All right. We've got, let's check in and see how everybody else is doing.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 13 finishers now, with a few more who are wrapping up. We've got our top 10. We can read those really quickly. We have Shona, who won in 55:59. We have Safira, who won or who got second in 58:47.9. And then third place went to Karina in 58:48.2. Again, 0.3 of a second between second and third. We had Philippa getting in under an hour in fourth with 59:57.3. We had Margit S. or Magi Hobby with an hour and 8 minutes for fifth. We had Alexandra B. in an hour and 23 seconds for sixth. Cecile Krebs Johansson with an hour, 1 minute and 30 seconds for seventh. We had Sergio Fernandez get eighth with an hour, 4 minutes and 38 seconds. We had Satu Ratso Liutu from Finland with an hour, 4 minutes and 42 seconds for ninth. And rounding out our top 10 was Yuka Sereni, also from Finland, in an hour, 5 minutes and 13 seconds. So all of our top 10 right under the hour and 6 minute mark, which is very impressive for a puzzle like this.
Yes, and maybe talking a bit about different puzzle competitions format. Just to mention at the Dutch Jigsaw Nationals, sorry if I talk a lot about this, but we are quite proud and it's the upcoming competition. We are organizing a Guinness World Record attempt on which we will be building simultaneously the same puzzle of 3,000 pieces for as many people as possible. So far, we have around 50 people registered, and we aim to get more. So we have a ready to use, but depends really on the amount of people that registers, a puzzle of 18,000 pieces. But the jump needs to be very high, you know, like, so we have a ready to go, a puzzle of 3,000 and a puzzle of 18,000. Depending on the people who registers, we take one of the other. But that's as well other type of format. At the end, this is not a competition, but it's another way of doing social puzzling.
Yes, absolutely. Another way for people to just get together with other people and do a different kind of puzzling. And I think now that we've had the World Series come and we've started to see now like that there's precedent for a format that's different than the typical just do a 500-piece puzzle as fast as you can. I hope that we start to see more competitions or even not competitions, more social puzzling that is testing out all different types of skills or puzzle formats, whether it's teams or relays or different piece counts or different images or all sorts of different kinds of things. Puzzle chess, puzzle chicken.
Of course. So let's share here some words, maybe, Hannah. Let's invite people just being creative about puzzling, and please share your ideas. Contact your associations around the world, and then if you have an idea, just contact them and explain what would you like to do, and then I'm sure you are gonna get help, because this is a type of thing of questions we get often here, at least in the Netherlands. People are already getting more and more excited, and then jumping that fence of being only a puzzler and start to being an organizer. So please, guys, if you have ideas of a nice competition or social puzzling event, etc., please just contact your association, and I'm sure they will be super happy to help you.
We're going to see if we can jump into some interviews now. Shona, are you in the call still, and can you unmute yourself? We'd love to chat with you.
Hello.
Hi, Shona. And if you want, nice to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. So we would love to hear what your thoughts are on this puzzle. Were you competing in the EJJ with the other puzzle from this artist, or was this your first time puzzling her art?
Yeah, I competed in Amber Fox, and somewhat completely coincidentally, I practiced that one last night, which I think was a great warm-up for this one, and probably helped quite a bit getting used to the style again. But yeah, I really liked the image. It was just that finish with the background that stumped me really, but the rest of it was really cute and pretty. Yeah.
Can you walk us through how you tackled the end of that puzzle? We were debating about whether some people might try to build the edge first and then fill in the pieces, or fill in all of the inside and then finish on the border. How did you end up completing the end?
So I did the inner bits and then finished on the edge, and I shape sorted a little bit, and it was basically just brute force trying every piece until it went in somewhere.
Yeah, I think with that kind of an image, that's sort of all you can do. Do you have any strategies or tips or tricks to help yourself stay like mentally strong or focused? Because it can be really hard to do that kind of puzzling.
Yeah, I'm not sure really. I was struggling in my mind at times. I was like, oh, why is nothing going in? But then it always feels like you then get 2 or 3 pieces in a row that go in really quickly, and that kind of brings your motivation back and gets you back on track.
Mm-hmm. How did you tackle the rest of the puzzle? Did you sort any pieces from the beginning, or can you talk about which things jumped out at you and you did first, and how you approached it?
So I sorted the edge and put the bits together that were really distinctive, so mainly that bottom left corner. And then I think I went to the green pieces, and then the robin.
Mm.
If I remember rightly, and the rest of that bottom left with the bit of writing. Yeah, and then worked my way up to the envelope, and then kind of like the note card, and finished on the flowers.
And you said that you practiced Amber Fox last week. So what did you think? How do you think that helped you today?
I mean, it's a similar style, and I think it helped with the fact that that has a lot of similar colors in it as well, and quite a plain background that you're left with.
Mm-hmm.
So I had practice of one of those tougher finishes where you're just really persevering with pieces that all look the same.
We've been talking a little bit today so far about other types of formats of puzzle contests, sort of on the tail end of the World Series, and how we've started to see different formats pop up in different places. Do you have any thoughts about what might make an interesting puzzle contest, or what you've thought about some of these different format contests popping up?
I wouldn't say I've really got thoughts on any new formats. I've only really competed in individual 500s, and at UK Nationals that we had in April was my first time competing in a pairs.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of just on the, I guess, the more standard puzzle formats. I've never really tried anything more unusual yet. I really wanted to attend the World Series, but I was busy that weekend, unfortunately. But yeah, some of those formats sounded interesting, particularly the unboxed one. I'd quite like to have a go at that kind of puzzling.
Yeah. So what was it like for you going from mostly doing solo puzzles to then competing at pairs at UK Nationals?
It was really fun. I competed with Desiree, actually, who's competing tonight. But yeah, it was good fun. Like, the image we had was really tough, but it kind of worked quite well. It was a circle of colors image, so we could split that up really easily, which I think helped with the fact that I hadn't competed in pairs before and kind of didn't have those tactics that people who compete together frequently might have, you know, like you pick out the edge and I'll pick out this. And yeah, I think just having different colors that we could quickly go, yeah, I'll do this color, I'll do this color, really helped.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been speed puzzling for?
Last year was when I got into it properly. I competed in nationals last year and then joined a load of online competitions since then.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've been puzzling forever, but just, yeah, started speed puzzling last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think you said the unboxed was a kind of a puzzle event that you might like to try.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you tried it yourself, like at home, or not yet?
No, not yet. That might be the next challenge. Maybe I need to send my husband out to buy some mystery puzzles and then hide the boxes from me.
in some of the libraries here in the United States, they will rent out puzzles to you. And so I'll do that. I'll send my roommate in and I'll say, pick one out. Don't let me see it. Hide it in the bag and then bring it in and I'll try and do it myself. And it's really fun. And they picked a really horrible one to start. So sometimes it's not necessarily a very easy one. If you send not a speed puzzler into a library, they're just going to pick one that they think looks good, not necessarily one that might be fast to speed. Daniela, you have any questions
yes.
for Shona?
Hi, Shona. Nice talking here with you, and congratulations for your winning today.
Thank you.
So, okay, because you said you practice already the artist, but then this is your normal time of finishing a puzzle, or is it your first time finishing under an hour, or?
I'd say this is kind of my average time now. So this was actually my last competition in the 50 plus club.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Congratulations. Congratulations for graduating out of the 50 plus club.
Yeah.
Great.
But yeah, I'd say this is kind of an average time. Normally between 50 and an hour, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
That's
then
right.
if I think in my case, an artist that I have practiced really a lot, I need to mention Jan van Gasteren. Yeah, the Dutch cartoonist that makes really busy puzzles. And because I'm trying to understand your comment like that, yes, making the artist before, it really helps to identify the style. And I think I agree with you. Because it's like your brain knows things and it guides you more or less or where you want to go. A part of the palette of the puzzle, because I have seen the picture of her previous puzzle, and the palette is quite similar. But yeah, and then I really like from this image because it's quite soft. It's cute, but somehow maybe the colors made me think on vintage as well. Don't you get that vibe as well?
Yeah.
Very cool.
How important was the texture for you versus the colors on an image like this? Did you use that at all to sort of give you some clues?
Yeah, I think so. Particularly with some of the browns, like with the striped note card up towards the top, I would say I helped with that. And I definitely use some of those ink splodges that are in the background to try and get some of those pieces in. Just anything that had a distinguishing mark on it helped.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about during the commentaries. I think when you pick up a piece and you try and find any sort of identifying part of it that you can slam into something else so that you don't have to think about just those grid pieces that all look the same.
Very good, very good. And what is your next competition? Do you have other upcoming online competitions soon, or face-to-face competitions?
1 second, let me just look. So I'm competing in one of the Puzzle Guzzles, which is the online competitions we have in the UK, one of those next week. That's my next one, yeah. I don't have any in-person ones coming up.
Great, great. I don't have anything scheduled in short term. And you, Hannah?
Yeah, I don't have really anything coming up either. I have a few EJJs that I'll be participating in, but all of my main in-person competitions are over. So I've got a lot of casual puzzles. I have a 3D puzzle that I've been waiting to get into for a while that I'll probably try and tackle, and just some other large piece counts to just puzzle for fun.
Okay, no, great, great.
I think, Shona, we're going to let you go because we have someone else who would like to hop on for an interview. But thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, and congrats again on your puzzle today. And congratulations on graduating from the 50 Plus Club. That's a exciting time.
Indeed.
Thank you. It was lovely to speak to you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Have a nice evening.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right, so we're gonna wait a second. We have Karina Our third place finisher, who should be on the call, ready to hop in. Karina, if you're here, can you unmute yourself and turn your camera on when you get a chance? We're at about an hour and 22 minutes time-wise, and so far we've had 54 people finish. So we are getting a steady stream of finishers. We're about halfway. Half of our competitors have finished so far. 55 have finished and 56 are still puzzling.
And I see it in the app. They just keep coming. Finished, finished, finished. It's great. It's great to see all this automation in place. Really top.
Yeah. Shona, I think confirming what we thought, Daniela, which is just that ending is brutal, and you're sort of looking for any sort of distinct part of the puzzle to help you put it together. Interesting to see who shape sorts and who doesn't for that kind of finish.
Exactly. And then, but then I'm gonna repeat the comment you shared. Like, okay, at the end, it's wise to do then the border, because that gives you clues on what you need to do with the rest of the pieces to do all the filling.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think for me that's really helpful. And I do think if you do the inside first, there were few enough pieces that I think you could maybe do it either way, and it might be sort of comparable because you still get clues from the inside. There weren't that many inside pieces to finish before you get to the edge. But for me, just like as someone who is going to be shape sorting probably and will be able to have that extra information, it would be so much more helpful, I think, to have the border in place. But I think it depends on the puzzler for sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to do one more. Karina, if you are still in the call, we would love to chat with you. If you are still around and can unmute yourself and turn on your camera. And if not, I think we can find maybe another person or two to chat with, but would love to talk with Karina if she is here.
Yes. So in the meanwhile, maybe we can read some comments of our participants. So for example, Rina, I like to puzzle without a box so I can explore everything. Before I began with a speed puzzling, I only puzzled without the box. So I would love to have more events like the mystery in the word series. The first competition I did online that I saw without the box, I participated in
we have Karina.
We have Karina here.
Hello, how are you?
Welcome.
Karina, we cannot hear you. Can you check your mic? 1 second. All right, we're gonna get the sound sorted out. Then we will chat with Karina.
Maybe my cat is at Karina's home pressing or like
pressing all the buttons, making all the tech difficulties. Cats are really good at that. Cats are really good at making life much harder than it needs to be by stepping on laptops or stepping on puzzles.
I saw once here a toy in a pet shop. It was a keyboard for cats so they could walk and sleep on it. It was a toy.
That's really funny.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
No, well, I was telling Hannah, I attended long ago, like 2 years ago, an online competition in Spain where it was quite interesting. You needed to register with 2 puzzles. You say what will be your puzzles you are going to be competing with. No, sorry, not 2, 3 competing with. Okay, so then they arrange you, and then you needed to say your average time, etc. So for example, if I said 1.5 hours, I was in that round with people more or less with the same average that I had. Yeah, but then we need this for the start. We needed to put all the puzzles in the table, visible in camera, and then your puzzles were different than mine, or etc. etc. And then the host said, "Okay, we go for the one that is in the middle is B. In your left hand is A, and on the C hand is C. In your right hand is C." And then from a ball, he picked a paper and he said, "Okay, you all do C from your own puzzle. So you remove the rest, and then you do a speed puzzling." So I finished my puzzle. but I had in my round people better than me. So yeah, I didn't progress, but I went to the final. And if Juneta, in case you are still here in the chat, she was part of the final. And
Cool.
during the online competition, the host, that is Jesus, a friend of mine, asked us, would you like, he put a poll in the YouTube chat, in the live streaming, asking, do you want the Puzzlers puzzle with the box or without the box? And then you could vote. And then majority of people vote without.
Mhm.
And then they needed to remove the image, etc., because it had like on purpose, the puzzle was packed in a way that you could open. It was double box. You got
Mm.
the bag, and
Mhm.
then they put aside the image, and they needed to build it without the image. It was quite a thing. I think the dynamics were very, very, very great, and I think Gabi Turku won. And I think Juneta, you were second or something like this, because you did amazing as well. So it was quite a great format. It still speed puzzling, but quite a great format. And by the way, Gabi was performing extremely good at the World Series. I think he ended up 11th or something
Yes.
like this. Yeah.
Yes, he got 11th. He was somebody that I thought might crack the top 10, and he got so close. He did very well. That sounds like such an interesting format. That sounds like so much fun. It makes me want to do something like that. There are a lot of I live stream on Twitch, and there are a lot of other puzzlers who live stream their puzzles on Twitch, and it can be hard to try and do races because not everybody has the same puzzle. But if you bring your own puzzle and you do a prediction on your time, and then you sort of, you pick either an A, B, or C puzzle, then it can be a contest that you can do whether you have the same puzzle or not, because you're just bringing whatever you have.
Exactly. And then, because that was one of my first, during my first month of speed puzzling, I have chosen puzzles. I didn't have so many by that time, but I had the chance as well to practice once and again because I wanted to perform. But then, of course, afterwards I was chatting, because they opened in parallel a chat in WhatsApp, where people could as well share experiences, etc. And the feedback I got is that I have chosen very difficult puzzles. And I think that's another skill you develop with the time while speed puzzling. Huh?
Okay, I think we have Karina back. Karina, can you want to pop in and say hello? We'll see if we can get that audio fixed this time. She should be here. We'll give her a second to hop back out. We're at about 90 minutes. We're at 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 40 seconds. And we have 70 finishers so far. Audio not working again. I'm so sorry, Karina. If you want to put anything in chat and we can read it out loud, your thoughts on the puzzle, your thoughts on any of the different kinds of formats, we can maybe share them with the group. But we may have to move on to another guest if your audio does not work. But I would love to hear your thoughts if you're able to type some in the chat about what you thought about this puzzle, and if you have done any other formats, or if you think any other formats for puzzle competitions would be interesting. Yes, please tell us about the puzzle. So we will read Karina's answers to everybody. So we should still be able to hear from her.
Sure. And I see commenting Jessica Henderson. I did border last, and now I am realizing something. Jessica, you don't know me. I am a friend of Elizabeth the turtle. And thank you very much, Jessica, for the help on bringing the set of American puzzles to the World Series. To explain a bit, we do in the Netherlands traveling puzzles, inspired by Becca. Becca gave us the instructions like 2 years ago. And this year, our friend Daphne Harmsen, who was at the US, she brought a whole set of your puzzles to make them travel here in the Netherlands. Cool. So we launched the campaign. Danny, our friend Danny Teston, launched the campaign. And she was a bit worried before going to sleep because only 8 people signed off. And then she went to sleep. And when she woke up, there were around 40 people registered for this. So one of the boxes was so popular that if we start to because she grouped it in 3 puzzles per box. So if you start puzzling now, giving you only 10 days maximum for the 3 puzzles, there were people puzzling in July next year, my dear friends. So, okay, how to solve it? How to solve it? Okay, Turtle to the rescue. So I talked to Turtle, and then she said, "Yeah, I have a set that I can send. I will find help." And then she
Oh, great.
contacted Jessica. Thank you very much. And Jessica brought it to the World Series. And then our friend Anne Rose, who is a participant, often participating at the AJJs, brought it to the Netherlands. So now what we did, the long list of the box A is now split it in 2 because there are 2 sets traveling. So I don't know if you have the background, Jessica, but then a little bit story and a lot of help on making this happening. And of course, the Turtle will love you.
Yes, thank you everybody for helping make that happen. And we're still waiting to see if we can get anything from Karina. Oh, just quickly from Karina, the puzzle was a lot of fun. I did also the Amber Fox, which was so much harder for me. I think because I knew already the artwork, it was easier to do. I have to leave the 50 plus club. 1 puzzle is left with mixed feelings. So Amber Fox was harder for Karina than this one. And so because she already knew the artwork, it was a little bit easier. But we'll be leaving the 50 plus club too. So congratulations, Karina, with the 1 puzzle. I think 1 puzzle left before you get out of the club. And also we should be able to talk to Carla now, our artist for journaling the puzzle today. So Carla, if you are here, can you please unmute yourself and turn on your camera? And we would love to talk to you.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi,
Hello.
Carla.
It's nice to be here again.
Good evening. Oh, very
Good
nice to meet
evening.
you.
Nice meeting you too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So can you tell us about, so I did your first puzzle. I have Amber Fox here and I really enjoyed it. Michelle also mentioned that neither of these images were specifically designed with like a puzzle in mind. Can you talk about for journaling, the one that we did today, what was your inspiration behind it and how did that artwork come together?
well, as you mentioned, none of these 2 had been made specifically with puzzle in mind. I had already done them. And the journaling one inspiration was because, well, I have done bullet journaling in the past, and pretty much inspiration is scrapbooking and stuff. I have a few journals over here. This one especially is an old one. You might recognize, for example, the ink splotches that have served me inspiration for like the coffee theme.
Oh, cool.
So when I did this theme of the coffee, I realized that I like to do splotches. So one of the things that I like to add to the drawing was exactly the ink splotches. So other inspirations like adding stamps, the sealing wax, some of this stuff that I have used in the past, and washi tapes and things like that, which I also produce as well for my own small business. But it's pretty much that. People have pointed out that I think it was you, Hannah, that my colors are muted, which is actually a thing about my illustrations. I don't do very saturated colors. I pretty much stick to like soft pastels. I don't even use black, like
Wow.
black. I like to maybe tone it down to like a brown, or especially because I shift towards the warmer colors. So a blue might look more green, if like in this picture for the sky, and the grays and blacks might shift towards the brown as well. It's funny that a lot of people also mention the borders. because indeed these were not made for puzzling, I hadn't really thought about how could I make the borders easier. For the Ember box, I did add a few elements to make it easier in a way that it wouldn't be too solid. But even this one, do I not have the box here? I was pretty sure I had the box here. Either way, the illustration in itself, I've done this puzzle, and there are a few differences on the border. So when you do the puzzle, and this might be a hint to those still finishing.
Good
there-
tip. Pay attention, everybody.
Pay attention
there's
if you're
actually
listening.
a distance difference between the grid in the background. So on one border, it might be narrower, and another border, it might be a little bit wider. So if you pay attention to those, you might have an easier time finishing the border. Because that's one thing I noticed. So besides the coffee and ink splotches, is actually also the grid itself might indicate where it might go. But yeah.
Yeah.
And Carla, I'm curious. Have you done the puzzle?
Yes, I've done puzzle because Michelle also sends the artist the puzzle. So I do have the puzzle with me, and I've done it. I was not faster than than Shauna, but one thing that it's really interesting when you do your own puzzles as an artist, you realize that what works, what kind of doesn't work for a puzzle. So while these two were done before they were decided to be puzzle illustrations, for the following one is actually made specifically for puzzling. So people can rest assured that in terms of borders, it will be easier.
Okay. Good, good. No, because it looks lovely. Of course, we have here around 100 people doing a speed puzzling with your puzzle, but in fact, it's so lovely that I imagine me in the winter, cozy, puzzling, chill, enjoying it, like it gives that vibe as well. So, because there are puzzles that you say, okay, this is clearly for a speed, only for a speed, and then you do it, just do it to improve something. But then this one, it can be done in both modes. I believe so.
That's actually nice to hear. So thank you very much. Because I do want to make puzzles specifically for speed puzzling, but at the same time, I want people to enjoy speed puzzling. And while the borders themselves are not the most enjoyable part, even the illustration itself, if it's something that people enjoy making, that brings me joy as well.
Great.
So thank you.
Can you tell us, Carla, how long have you been making art?
That's a hard question to answer because drawing itself, well, I started pretty young, right? But I'm also an art teacher.
Wow.
So I do apply that into my work, even though right now I'm on maternity leave. I just had my daughter last month.
Congrats.
So
Congratulations.
I haven't been working art puzzling for a while, but I definitely want to get back. So for the next Best of BJJ, for example, I am taking part in some of the competitions. But even with work, so I don't normally draw at work because I teach my students how to draw, but just sometimes demonstrating how to do things and things like that. And students usually like to see, at least in my experience, see what kind of art our teachers into, what kind of art that they draw, and what can they learn from that as well. And I have a few students of mine that also follow me on social media and see what kind of stuff I draw. And they also gave me feedback because we're also constantly learning. And though I did end up being an art teacher, it was not a career that I had in mind in the beginning because my parents were very sad on me being a doctor, which didn't end up becoming reality. But I'm very glad to be in this field.
Great.
And then
Great.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you got into speed puzzling? So we know a little bit now about that you've been drawing for a long time, but how did you get into speed puzzling? Have you always done puzzles, or did you find speed puzzling first?
I did when I was like a kid, but then I eventually stopped doing it. Back then, I didn't even do branded puzzles because it was hard to get my hands on some. But then Last year, I decided, so I found out through YouTube, especially about the World's Championship in Spain. And I was curious about it. So I'm from Portugal, which is pretty close. So hopefully I maybe can go this year. It will be fun to go and meet new people, especially people that I've also met online. But I started last year in the Portuguese Nationals. And though I wasn't able to go this year because of my maternity leave, it's something that I plan to continue. I was in 2 Portuguese competitions last year. And a few mini ones that occasionally happen in like Fnac here, which is like a store that occasionally does certain events, or even some coffee slash board game locations that also occasionally do puzzle competitions.
The Portuguese association is quite active. So Dulce Pereira is the leader, and we are in contact. And I know, for example, she joined the International Puzzle Day activity that normally I organize in January. So I don't know if you are connected with them via Instagram, but they are quite active. And time to time, they are organizing meetups or things. I don't know exactly where in Portugal, but yeah.
Yeah, I do know that next month, I believe, there's going to be a 24-hour marathon, but I'm not sure I can go yet.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got some other stuff on your plate, like being a mom to your new daughter.
Yes.
And
Yes, it's been tiring, but it's been so, my heart is full. It's just having this new addition to the family. It's been great. Huh? I'm
That's
so
good.
Yeah.
Now-
Oh, and one more little fact. Huh? So I
Yes.
actually have this, it's not the puzzle, but it's the sticker book, so it has still the same image. Michelle mentioned the little rabbit here. This is actually, it's supposed to be my dog. I added, some people might have seen my dog before. So, lady, you want to come?
Let's see your dog.
But it's my Shiba that I just decided to add a little cameo over here. And just a few other things. Curiously, the original one, the little text here in the background, used to be a reference to the Lord of the Rings. But for copyright issues, I decided to change it because I do have the books, and reading is also something that I enjoy.
We were also trying to figure out in the bottom left corner, there's also some writing. Was it Latin? We were trying to figure out what
it is Latin. It's not anything special, it's just Latin ipsum, but it's I wanted to kind of look like a little scrap of paper that you ripped and you kind of like to decorate a scrapbook page pretty much.
We have somebody in chat who asked, how do you draw? Is it on paper or digitally?
It could be both. I believe this one I started digitally, but most of the times I do the sketch on paper. I think in this bullet journal, I even have a few very old sketches because this is from 2017. But I like to do sketches first, and then I move on to digitally and finish it up. I have a few drawings here, but pretty much
Oh, go quick, guys. You need to reverse this video and look for hints for her next Carla puzzle.
That is not a future puzzle. It's okay. But I pretty much do the pencil sketch on pencil, take a photo with my phone, move on to my iPad, and then I finish up digitally.
Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about your inspiration? Like what inspires you with the subjects that you draw or the art that you create?
Most of the stuff is real life experience, really, or I guess things that I like as well. Growing up, I drew a lot of like television shows that I would enjoy, but then, for example, the journaling was mostly my life experiences, like with bullet journal, and there's my dog there. The butterfly is also a symbol that to me means a lot, especially by the time I drew around the time I drew this picture, because it represents my mom that passed away, and also I had a dog that died the previous year as well, which was a papillon, which is butterfly in French. So it's also a symbol that I added. So I like to add a little bit of my own to my own illustrations.
That's very cool. Do you have any thoughts about different puzzle formats? We've been talking a little bit about that throughout.
Yeah,
Things that you might like to do.
I would love to try different formats. I don't think I have an experience in different formats, but I would, for example, a relay. I think you guys mentioned a relay of like, or I believe it was a switch, but a relay would actually be really cool. For example, a pairs or teams where people have to switch, the next person has to continue the puzzle and so on. But I think those kind of activities would be really fun besides just the normal having to do one puzzle itself and see how fast it can get. I love that the World Series added the unboxing, I believe, and other new variations. So we have the panoramic and things like that, but like specific themes, and then added the average. I wasn't able to go, but definitely is on my list to go as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of people really enjoyed the unboxing because it's not something that you see very often, right? It's tricky as puzzlers to find somebody else to find you a puzzle that you haven't seen before so that you do it completely surprised. So it was a nice and testing different kinds of skills of people.
I
Indeed.
was watching the live stream in that moment, and oh my God, it was hilarious because Jim and Frusi were talking about this. And when Frusi discovered it was about capybara, she was like,
That was one of my favorite parts. She was so excited to find out that there were capybaras in there because what we found out is that they were also just given the bag. They were not given the box, so they didn't know what the image was either. So Fruji was just picking pieces out, I think, and trying to figure out what she could see.
Indeed, and that was really cute. I personally have a bad habit of not looking at the box enough, so that's something that I would like to try as well.
So you'd probably be very good at that then, if you're already used to not looking at the image.
Well, I'll need to practice, but thank you. I definitely really want to try something of the sort.
Carla, is there anything else about this puzzle that you would like to share? I think we have one more person that we'd like to interview. But if there's anything else, any other like little fun facts or things about it that you'd like to share, we'd love to hear them.
I don't think I do. I think pretty much everything has talked about it. I'm happy that most of the people seem to have enjoyed the picture, so thank you. And other than that, I guess most of the stuff. I'm also happy that people recognize Robin. It is indeed a Robin. And other than that, I like daisies, I like flowers. And on the back of the sticker book, so I added this to a sticker book. So this is where you put stickers, right? And on the back here, I also have one flower picture. And this is also one of the illustrations. I had a series of mini illustrations for my wedding. So I guess once again, it's just little bits of my life added here and there.
I love how you work the personal into your puzzles. It really is a fun snapshot of who you are as a person and an artist. So
thank you. And thank you very much for the interview. I don't want to take more time of the next person.
That's okay. Thank you very much. And I think we are excited to see your next puzzle that has been especially designed for speed puzzling. So
I hope you guys enjoy because I'm as excited as well. This one specifically for puzzling.
Very
thank you,
exciting.
Carla.
Okay,
thank you, Carla.
Take care.
All right. That was great to talk to her. We have about 10 minutes left. And so I'm going to ask for Elka to unmute yourself and turn your camera on.
Hi there.
Who's going to be our last guest today. Hello. How are you?
Oh, good. I mean, it is not exactly my type of puzzle, but it was still fun to do.
What kinds of?
Yep.
What about this puzzle didn't make it your kind of puzzle?
Oh, I prefer photographs.
Real objects.
Yeah, but I mean, it was nice to have the different colors, the different textures, like the light green. I mean, other people have talked about this already. But I mean, I prefer to have puzzles also where I can start with the border, and the border gives me a very clear outline of how I proceed. Which this one obviously wasn't. But it was very nice to hear all the thoughts by the artist, and yeah, it was great.
So you might be a fan of Andrea Stilk's photography. So do you know Hello Vinyl with the blue?
Yes, I do. I've
It's
never
from
done
Andrea.
it, but I've certainly seen the puzzle.
So if you check on Instagram, Andrea Tilk, you will find her, and then you will see that she has worked with many other puzzle brands. And then her work is about making collages of photography, etc. I really like her images. For example, I have made an Educa of marbles, 500 real marbles. Or for International Puzzle Day, there was a new puzzle launched by Educa. So that was part in the route designed by her. And then it's a collage of a lot of like mementos of different trips, but she works with a real object. So check it out. I really like
I'll have a look.
her images. Yeah, I will put in the chat, in both, in the YouTube and then on this one, her Instagram, in case you are curious, because then you will recognize a lot of puzzles that are passing by social media and then you realize, oh, those are from Andrea. So I think you will like it.
Elke, I would love to. So you were at the World Series recently, right?
Yes, I was.
I would love to hear your experience and how you thought it was, especially because this is one of the first major competitions that I had that was sort of a different format than what we would normally expect for like a 500-piece puzzle. So what was it like to go and experience something completely different?
Oh, that was fantastic. I mean, just knowing that you go in there and no matter how you do, you will be able to do all the puzzles. And you will have planned your journey ahead. And it's not like, okay, you may not, I missed the finals of the German nationals by 9 seconds. And then
so close.
And then, well, you've planned your journey already, you've paid for the hotel, but yeah, then you have to figure out what you do. So I think that it's great that you go there and that you get all the puzzles and you do all the rounds, and I mean you chat to basically, or my experience was I mostly chatted to the people that I either already knew or the person that was sitting next to me, which was Scarlett Granger, so the person from Scarlet Sky.
Yes.
Yes. So puzzling from the back was probably a very different experience than what most of you have seen, and we're so unfortunate that the organizers talked about the tables already.
Mm-hmm.
But I can confirm if you have to speed puzzle and you cannot slide the pieces, but you have to lift every piece and put it in place. That will increase your times significantly.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, that was a frustrating thing. I think that the organizers were, they did their best to sort of make sure everyone had the same space, but yeah, the different surfaces did not help.
But no matter what, I mean, it was a fantastic experience, and I don't regret going.
What was interesting, like from reading your response and also listening to you talk, was you were also, talking about travel. People have to travel far distances and book hotels. And if you're going to maybe qualify for finals and maybe not, it can be really hard to figure out, well, when's my flight or my train or my bus going to leave? How many hotel nights do I have to have? And so having an event where you will participate no matter what for a certain number of events can be really helpful. For something like this. And also having the same table mate, I've heard from a lot of people, made it like really, by the end you felt sort of like a team, I think, is what a lot of people sort of walked away with.
Yeah, well, we had that from the beginning. I happened to steal one of her pieces. I could, she was faster than me, and she started to come to the end, and I could hear her swearing, "Where is that damn piece?" And I already had sorted out a piece that I could not fit. It was essentially like, "You take that piece, it's here."
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Do you have any other thoughts about what you think would be a good other format? You've talked about how there aren't a lot of people in your area who are into speed puzzling. And so maybe like other solo formats or other ways to introduce people to speed puzzling that might be different than the 500. Do you have any ideas or things for that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the 500 solo puzzle is great because it is an easy way for people to enter, because they say, I don't know anybody, but I can go and puzzle by myself. But what I also think would be great is if you could do pairs with a random partner. So you essentially sign up, I will go there and I will do pairs, or I will do teams, and then the teams are assigned randomly. I had this, well, I ended up being part of a team at the German Nationals where I didn't know anybody. And this was a great experience. But just by puzzling, this was the 3.5 hour stretch. So after the 3.5 hours, well, you pretty well know who you would like to puzzle with again and who maybe not. So this can actually help you to find future pairs or teams partners. And I think, we are puzzlers, so most of us may be introvert people, right? So having this sort of event where you're forced to meet new people, that would be great.
I also think that that's something that a lot of organizers are starting to think about. Daniela and I were chatting about it earlier in this call. And it's something that at US Nationals, I think people put a lot more time into. There was sort of two rooms. There was the main competition room where everybody would compete at. And then there was also a separate room where there were different kinds of relays and more social puzzling. They were still competitions, but it was much chiller, and it was intended to seat people at tables where you would meet random people that you wouldn't normally have interacted with. And so finding spaces for people to meet new people. I think with the World Series, having the trading cards was also a good way for people to meet new people that they wouldn't normally, because if you're trying to find a specific card, you have to walk up to a stranger and say, hello, do you have so-and-so? I'll trade you for this one. So it was a good way to allow people to sort of interact with others in ways they might not normally.
Absolutely. I gifted mine away. I tried to gift my cards to the people on the cards, but they usually weren't at the table. But I usually had all the people around them were very supportive and interactive. So I met the people that were around. They were sitting around the person that I was trying to give the card to.
We have 1 minute left in our race, so we're going to see. We have 12 people who are still puzzling. We'll see if we can get anybody to finish.
Elke, would you, because I just got from a friend all the puzzles. What was your most favorite that you say, wow, you should start by this one?
Weirdly enough, the third challenge, so the fruit puzzle.
The busy puzzle.
The busy puzzle, yes, because it gives you. Yes, usually I'm a gradient person, but
we should puzzle together, or maybe not. Maybe not. We will do together very bad in gradient.
I'm happy. But I actually prefer the challenge 3 with all the fruits and vegetables, with all the different colors.
Sorry, we have 6 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. That was 2 hours. So close, Needy. Needy from India has, I don't think she's heard me, but she has about 10 pieces left. But yeah, well done to everyone who's still puzzling. That was 2 hours. Please count up your leftover pieces. So we see everyone had done all the colorful parts and moved on to the border, which is unfortunately where people slowed down.
Yeah, not every puzzle you can expect people to do the same, but I think this was one where we saw most of the end was almost identical for people, either finishing on the border or finishing with the grid pieces inside.
Yeah, it was one where you kind of saw a similar strategy appearing across all the puzzles, and now you can see like all the little gaps where there are this all the gaps where the pieces are the same color. But I can assure you that Carla's next puzzle is specifically made to be a speed puzzle, and things like single colored backgrounds and single colored borders are not involved.
I'm
So
so
there is a
excited.
new puzzle coming up.
Yes, we're sending it to the printer this week, so it's amazing. I'm in love with it.
Ooh, I want to know what it is. I'm so excited to see what it'll be.
Well, it's not portrait. It's not in portrait mode, and it doesn't have a single colored border. Yes.
Very exciting.
So, yeah, sorry to interrupt you. Alka, you can continue what you were saying about your favorite puzzle or about that. And then we'll let the others add their pieces to the timer website.
What was I saying?
You like the
fruit,
vegetables
fruit
best.
was
Yeah,
the
I like
vegetables, yeah.
vegetables with all the colors and different textures. So there is, I think nobody got stuck on this puzzle. And I also believe almost everybody managed to finish it. I don't have the data to vouch for it, but
Luckily, it exists somewhere. So on the World Series website, we can check and see how many people got under the 75-minute.
yeah. I mean, we can do that sometime else, right?
True.
I like
Yeah,
this
it doesn't have to be
well.
right now.
And I
Yeah.
saw it was awesome. So yeah, I was thinking of starting with that one, and you see, this is a sign of the destiny.
I did not go to the World Series, but what I have done is grabbed 6 puzzles that are sort of approximately like a gradient, a detailed, a circle, unboxed, and I'm going to try and do my own little World Series. So
You know what could have been nice? I would add a random cut.
yes, yes.
You see?
I'm
And
afraid
everyone's
I
nodding.
agree, because
Everyone's
that was
nodding.
something a skill that was not tested during the World Series. But I'm bad at them, so I'm very slow when it comes to random cuts, because in Europe we basically don't have them.
I love from US, from the US of Canada, Le Pouce.
Yes. I have a Le Puz on my puzzle table right now.
When you
Look at
show the
these-
dots?
Yes.
Look at these weird little pieces.
I will put it in the chat. Tammy McLeod helped me bringing. They have a collection of mini circular puzzles, and then there are called flat plum, flat lemon, flat whatever. And then she brought me to the World Series, puzzle mulling. This is what I was reading in the chat. 3 of them, one purple, one blue, and one lime. And I have all of them ready in my table because I can do a mashup. And those random cut puzzles are awesome. The quality is very good. Very, very good. You should try to find them.
Le Puz is a great random cut brand. They are a little
And they have a lot of
expensive, but it's
real object pictures, Elke.
all,
Yes.
all of them. Here,
Yes.
let me see if I can.
Do they also always have the same piece cut, like with the Ravensburger 500, or is it
For
different?
the rounds, yes, they have only one. For the other ones, I think they have 2 or 3 cuts. I don't know, at least that I identified, and I have done only 500 pieces from them. So yeah, here in Europe it's possible to find, and I found mine via a competition of Ulala puzzles. Yeah, you see? The one that Hannah has.
It says one Le Puz, it is a cat and a bathtub, and it is a real cat and a real bathtub, and they hired a cat model to do it. And so that is a very well-behaved cat sitting in a bathtub with real bubbles around it, very, very politely.
Yes, they did an open call, but I couldn't manage to send. They were asking worldwide for random objects. I don't know, this mouse path or whatever, that you could send them and they will choose to make a puzzle called random something from real objects sent by puzzlers. I think
That's
it's a
awesome.
great idea. Great idea.
All right. Well, thanks for that recommendation. I didn't really have lippos on my radar, but I love the shape of those pieces that you held up, Hannah. I think other people outside of the US are a bit scared to have a competition with random pieces because it means the Americans would completely dominate. But I do believe that it is a skill that needs to be tested at a competition, and maybe that will, when people get into the random cut and because it tickles your brain in a different way, maybe we would see a competition on an international scale or in Europe also featuring that.
You
Yes,
overestimate.
I would prefer to not start with the 500 pieces, but with fewer pieces. So something like, I mean, it's more complex than if you already know the outline. So having something like 300 pieces, that would be great.
Well,
Also
that's like,
to have it in the same, to be able to solve it in the same amount of time.
yeah, that's like with whenever you do a wooden puzzle, because the pieces are just so unusual, you know, the way kind of wrap around each other or they're kind of next to each other, just the whole different, and all the whimsy shapes, it just takes longer to wrap your brain around it. So yeah, I think starting with a smaller piece count would be good, maybe starting with 200 or 300 to let people get used to it.
Yes.
Yes.
And my mother-in-law loves these animal wooden random cut puzzles where you are puzzling a cat and you will have 15, 20 cat-shaped pieces in them. So it's really random. But yes, it takes a lot more time.
Yeah. Yes, so we are at the time limit. I noticed that Lindsay and was so close. She only had 20 pieces left, but she went and she finished her puzzle on screen. And I can see that Michael is not leaving the puzzle table and he's done. He only had 59 pieces left and he's doing a great job there. So yeah, we can thank everybody who has joined us today, who participated. We hope you enjoyed the puzzle, even if maybe it wasn't to your style. But I hope you like the image and enjoyed being on the live stream today. And thanks to our co-hosts Daniela and Hannah, and to Alka for jumping in at the end to chat with us. And hopefully we'll have time to chat more another time.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. We'll end the stream here. And thanks to everyone who's been viewing and commenting. We've had a lot of fans in the chat, and happy to have unreleased images. And yes, we're happy to produce them as well. So good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye. Thank you for organizing and everything.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.